I see movement on my end. So, I think we should be good. This is one of those things where I just don't get. I solved it by unplugging it and plugging it back in. Why? I don't know why. At least I think it's working. Is it working? Mic is working. All right. Yeah, I just unplugged it and plugged it back in, and it's working now. I still don't know what was wrong. I didn't change any settings between now and the last time. Okay, the only thing I did is I rearranged things a little bit. As you can see, I've got my nice good camera working on Twitch. I've been using this webcam recently on Twitch. I'm going to try and use the nice big camera for my Twitch stream. So, right? Yes, it is a profile shot. In order to talk to you, I'm going to have to turn like this. I hope that's okay. We'll see. So tonight can be a bit of an experiment. We'll go through LA Noire today and see how that works out. Well, no more stalling with technical issues. Let's get to it. Oh, we're good. But I forgot to pour my Now the audio is weird. Why is the audio now weird? Okay, in my diagnosis of this issue, I seem to have done something wrong so that my audio is not playing correctly. And I think I figured out what it is. I've got that was set to speakers 1, 2, so this should be set to speakers 1. All right, no longer getting the gaming in. That's good. Let's try that again. Having a separate gaming PC connected to my streaming PC has become just a nightmare. It complicates things so much. Probably it's not that big a deal for most streamers who are used to this and do it a lot, but it's so annoying for me. Fancier Wolf says, audio is fine for us. Yeah, I know it was fine for you. You were able to hear the game and me. I wasn't able to hear anything. The game was coming out of a different set of speakers, not my headphones. Which... Yeah, and it's doing it again. right, well, I don't know what the problem is, but for some reason I can't get my headphones to work. But as long as you're able to hear the sound and I'm able to capture it on my video here, then we'll all be good. So I won't worry about it. Okay, let's play the case. We're on the arson desk now, and we've got the gas man. What's this guy doing? Tinkering with something. Oh, but they don't show us what happened. Looks like we'll have to figure that out. And look at Cole.
Okay, everyone.
He looks
Keep
miserable.
Cole Phelps joins the arson squad today. How'd you like porking that German whore, Phelps? Phelps is up before a review board in December. Until then, he works the arson desk. End of story. Phelps.
Yes, sir.
I don't care what you did or didn't do, Phelps. I hear you're a good case man. But if you fuck up on my detail, I'll have you out of here before your feet touch the ground. Do we have an understanding?
Yes, sir.
Cap, we don't want a fucking rat like Phelps. Can it, Tilden? Phelps, I'm partnering you with Herschel Biggs.
I don't do partners. You know that, Cap.
You do now, Biggs. Social basket cases like you two should get along just fine. Biggs will show you the ropes, Phelps.
This is arson. There are no ropes.
It shouldn't take long, then. Start with these two. House fires. 326 South Kenmore Avenue. Steffen's family was out of town when it happened. Then go to 4414 Rosewood, family by the name of Sawyer. Fire brigade will be on location.
Are they suspicious, Captain?
That's for you to find out, Detective. Now get out of here. Both of you.
Okay.
Get out!
Chaku Norisu says, Oxhorn, for your information, you have ruined this game for me. I'm trying to play it, but I still want to watch your videos, lol. Well,
They weren't even his prints and
I have almost every case. We've got, what, 4 or 5 cases left to go, and then we've got the entire game done.
I got the
So,
jitters again.
you can play the game yourself. You
I
can
used
play
to
through
be
quite a lot
indecisive.
of the game before you
Now
get
I'm
to
not
where
so
I'm
sure.
at. Fancier Wolf says, Oxhorn, Metro Exodus has quite a bit of nudity in it. I don't know if
Don't
YouTube
eat
would be
this.
happy about that. Is that the case? Well, that's a bummer. Let's see. So, I think I may be able to get away with it by doing this. Oh, Anna, you were getting dressed there. That's sorry for walking in on you like that. That's horrible. Oh, you're good? Okay, back to the game. That's my strategy.
You can drive.
And where exactly are we going?
We'll start by going to the Steffens house fire.
How long have you been working arson?
We gonna do the small talk thing now? Talk baseball, exchange addresses? I don't think so. Feeling down, hotshot? Need a buddy? I'll look somewhere else.
Oh, they're so awful to call. It's horrible. I mean, I had a lot of people during my Manifest Destiny video wondering, Did they criminalize adultery back then? And it seemed weird to me too, but apparently they did. It was a crime. All right, so we're at an arson case, an arson house
There
here.
never is if
This
the job's done
woman
properly.
You think it
lost
was
her
deliberate?
house.
Nah, that's real pain in her face. They would have moved out the things they care about if this was insurance. There's no mileage in this. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Hirsch. Cap this one.
Yeah, Mike Brannigan, Cole Phelps.
Ooh.
It's okay, Brannigan.
Ooh.
His name may be dog shit, but there's none on his hand.
He wouldn't
No
even
offense,
take the hand.
Phelps.
None taken. Do you have anything?
The fire started late last night. Steffen's family at Catalina Island. Won some kind of competition. Looks like the only thing they ever won in their lives. And they come home to this.
I'd say they were pretty lucky, really.
They don't have any insurance. Everything they own, including the house, is not a pile of rubble.
Where are they
Jeez.
sleeping?
In the car. It's lucky the whole block didn't burn down. Word is they're bulldozing this whole neighborhood to build new homes for GIs. That's the man in the house. In the ruins. Terry lady is his wife.
We'll take a look around. Come on, Phelps.
Okay.
Dirty cops from the newspapers.
Before we go run around, let me check my guide. I only got 1 star when I went through this on my own. I think I got a ton of stuff wrong. So now that I'm going through with the guide, let's see exactly what I would have missed. Okay. So we'll interview Don, the man of the house. Then we need to inspect the home. And there's only one clue. This is what drove me crazy when I did this case on my own. It's an entire burned house. And so I went all over trying to find all of the clues because the music never stopped. There's only one clue in the entire burned house. All right, let's talk to Don, the owner of the house, see if we can get this interview underway.
Mr. Steffens? Cole Phelps and Herschel Biggs, LAPD. I know it's a difficult time, but could we have a word?
Don Steffens.
You were out of town.
We won a prize. We had a wonderful time. Came home to this.
Do you still have the tickets?
Sure.
It's a formality, but we'll need to speak to the issuing agent.
So they won a trip to Catalina Island, departing on Friday at 6 p.m., September the 19th. And it just so happened that while they were gone, their home burnt to a crisp. The Phoenix says, oh, it's nice to use the wiki. I sometimes edit it. Yeah, this wiki is great. The fandom wikis are wonderful, both for Fallout and for LA Noire. The people who edit the wikis here are just, their attention to detail is exceptional. So, yeah, I didn't want any spoilers when I played LA Noire the first time, so I didn't look at any guides. But I missed a lot. So for my videos, I'm going through the fandom guides, and they're really, really well done. Oxhorn, what cigar is that? Says the Vanquisher. This is my good old La Aurora y Leon Corojo. It's a fine cigar. All right, we'll ask him about the travel competition.
Can you tell me any more about the prize that you won, Mr. Steffens?
Weekend at Catalina Island. My wife got this flyer in the mail from the Suburban Redevelopment Fund.
Follow to the Max says, Ox can't wait to play more Metro tomorrow at 10 a.m., huh? No, you're right there. I'm pretty stoked to play Metro. I wanted to play it this weekend. I haven't touched it because I know I've got to bring you guys with me. It would be unfair for me to go ahead and play Metro Exodus without you guys with me. And I'm only live streaming twice a week now, so, well, we'll just have to make as good of use of our time tomorrow as possible. All right, so the answer to this one is truth, but let's let him go ahead and do his little side comment first. Laura said it's a setup. Someone at the travel agency must be dirty. That's a great guess. I'm trying to remember exactly what went on as well. I seem to recall that it wasn't insurance fraud.
You might have nothing better to do than stand around and stare, but I have a family to feed.
Oh, getting all mighty and righteous now. Chaku says, Oxhorn, have you ever played the XCOM series? I haven't, but it comes up frequently during my live streams. People seem to think that it's the sort of game I'd enjoy, so maybe I'll have to check it out here. All right, the first one is true. He did really win the travel competition.
Did you enter any kind of competition?
My wife filled in a flyer. The lady just rung up and told us we won. It's the first time I ever won anything.
Mogster says, I love your Metro videos so far. I started playing Metro 2033 Redux because of you. I was introduced to the Metro series by viewers of my live stream. This was another one of those situations where people said, hey, if you like Fallout, you'll love Metro. It's like the Russian version of Fallout. I'm like, all right, and I tried it, and I fell in love with it. It's just such an amazing series. So if you guys think I'll like XCOM, I should probably check it out, huh? All right, let's ask this guy a bit about the Suburban Redevelopment Fund.
The redevelopment fund. Did they offer to buy you out?
They're building new houses. They showed their money, and most of the neighborhood just packed up and walked away. But I never bargained with it.
Oh, I remember now. Captain Thea says XCOM is more spacey, just so you know. I don't mind a good sci-fi. I really don't. I guess the kind of sci-fi I don't like is like really pulpy sci-fi where it's so cartoony. I like good sci-fi that's grounded in either in real science or fake science that's somewhat believable. That's the kind of sci-fi that I like. Like, I never played Deep Space, but I went back when I worked at Wii Game back in 2008. I went to an EA hosted.
You might have nothing better to do than stand around and stare.
And they told us all about the game at the time. This was when the first one was being ready to launch, and they put us up in a hotel. We watched a bunch of scary movies. This was part of their, marketing ploy, and they showed us props that they had made for the game, and just the world building they had done for Deep Space was. Is it Deep Space or Dark Space? Ivan, the guy. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I remember going to that event and thinking, wow, this is a sci-fi game I could really get into. But, I've never been into Star Wars. So I guess it just depends. All right, the answer, this one is doubt. We'll doubt he's telling the full truth. Even though he is telling the truth, there are some holes in his story.
Everyone else is selling, but you're the holdout, aren't you?
I was the last. I thought I could hold out for a better price. My house is the center lot.
So now you have to take the price regardless.
Looks like it. I've got no choice. I have to put a roof over my
Dead
family.
Space. Yes, that's right. Dead Space. Thank you.
That's all we need for the moment, Mr. Steffens.
All right.
Well, we remember from the cutscene that someone was tinkering with the
Isn't that the cop
heater.
about the guy that was pretending to be dead?
The Insta-Heat heater.
That son of a bitch looks a lot like the cop who pointed the gun at me.
This is another problem. Look at this ground. How are we supposed to find clues in this?
Recently serviced. Could be something to go on.
All right, this is the one clue at the house that we need. Let's go to the Gamwell to get the address of the next house. But we got to remember this name. The last 3 times this box was serviced, it was by a Matthew Ryan from the Instaheat Company. Sexy Man 49 says, "Oh God, I haven't had my water heater serviced in like 25 years." Oh my goodness. These guys had it serviced every year. All right, Gamwell. Let's see, it's on the other side of this fire truck. And look at that, confirms what he told us. Sold Elysian Fields. And look at this one. This one was sold. Same company, Elysian Fields. This one has already begun being demolished. And then lo and behold, one of them, and look at that. Building a better California, Elysian Fields.
Walked out on his wife.
All right, let's check out the Bucks.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need information on the Suburban Redevelopment Fund.
Yes, Detective. Just
Nick
checking.
Swadger says, "Ooh, some L.A. Noire.
The fund
Hope you're
is
having a good weekend,
semi-government
Ox. Did you
agency
get the car out
established to
yet?"
speed up the
No,
building
I
of
haven't.
GI homes.
I am having a good
It has
weekend,
private
but the
investors
car
as
is
well as a
still
government
stuck in the
endowment.
snow.
Huh.
It's going to be a few
You have an
days.
address for them.
There is one listed here, corner of Beverly and Mariposa.
Thanks for your help.
Here's what I heard. That cop caught the guy that...
All right, we got the address we need. Ox, what do you think about playing Silent Hill or Resident Evil? I played Silent Hill for the PlayStation back when it came out. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was a bit too spooky.
You're behind the wheel.
Maybe a bit too spooky for
All
this
right.
particular
Where to?
channel. All right, let's go to the Sawyer house fire. Hey, Nit Swidge
Have there been any other house fires?
became a
This
Twitch
is ours.
Prime
You
subscriber.
get an average of 2 a night. Does that answer your question?
We arrive at the Sawyer house fire.
Hi,
Similar
Albert.
situation.
We've caught this case.
Hey, Biggs. You have a partner? What gives?
This is Cole Phelps. You may have read about him.
Oh, now I get it. Hello, Phelps. Welcome to the netherworld of arson. Family of 4 found dead in their beds. Heater explosion.
Hey, another one.
Looks that way. Instaheat Model 70. Before you get excited, we get a couple of water heaters a month go bang. Take a look around the yard and see what you can find.
This part of the game is disturbing. All right, we're going to be looking at some dead corpses, some of which are children. So just bear that in mind. At least if this is the part in the game that I remember. Yeah, very disturbing.
Mal,
You gonna stick it out, Cole?
I'm gonna try, Mal. What have you got?
Family by the name of Sawyer. Mother, father, and 2 kids. All in bed from the looks of it. Oh, I'd say carbon monoxide poisoning. The burns are superficial.
Time of death.
I'd say about midnight. Anything more exact will take some time to determine. Lynch tells me this has something to do with a faulty water heater.
Could be. There's been a spate of problems with a particular brand. I've got another angle in mind.
You care to elucidate, Detective? This is a murder and not an accident. Sharing information has helped us solve quite a few cases together.
I need something concrete, Mal, before the department gets wind of it. I'm in arson for a reason.
I feel sorry for your wife and kids, Phelps, not for you.
Ooh, even
But
Mal.
You're a good case man. One of the best I've ever met. I'll help in any way I can.
Thanks, Mal. I'd say that's firm but fair.
Oh, I don't know if I'm going to show this in the video, but there's a close-up of the family.
How about the insurance companies write these incidents up as acts of God?
Right. Let's
Another
find
day,
the clue.
Another dollar.
If I recall, it was somewhere... Oh, yeah. No. Oh, there it is.
Hey, Biggs! Is this significant?
Regulator valve. Good find.
Detectives? This is the next door neighbor.
Detective Phelps, can you help?
They were supposed to be going away. They won a trip somewhere. But little Henry got sick, so they had to cancel. What are the chances?
Do you know who ran the competition?
Gulliver's Travel, up on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Thanks. You've been a big help.
Phelps, the guy across the street. I've seen him before. He likes fire.
Oh, we got a chase.
Hurry, you can
Yep.
still catch him.
Why is he running if he's got nothing to hide?
Stop! LAPD!
We got an ID on these firebugs. Stop right there.
Ah, he got to the fence. Tackle, tackle, tackle. There we go. Oh, and we don't get the shot of it. Bush in the way. That'll be bad
What's
for the
your
video.
name?
Herbert Chapman.
So you like fires?
Some.
Watching them or setting them?
I don't want any trouble.
Turn out your pockets.
You're a naughty boy, aren't you, Herbert?
I keep myself to myself.
You know, it's one cigarette and a book of matches. I mean, if we picked this guy up anywhere in Los Angeles, this wouldn't be suspicious. It's only that he's next to a house that had burned down that it's suddenly suspicious. Is this enough evidence that he lit the fire?
Cigarette in a matchbox gives you a 5 or 6 minute delay. You want more time, you use a mosquito coil. Don't you, Herbert?
You like this fire, Herbert?
Hell no. I heard it over the fire radio. Sounded sweet.
When you finish following your leads, come and see me at the fire station. I have a theory about this.
Will do, Lynch. Take this guy in. We might want him for questioning later.
You got it, Detective.
Why have you got such a hard-on for this case? If it is murder, it's almost impossible to prove. Fire doesn't leave much evidence. There's no percentage in this.
I think it's more than one case.
They're house fires, Cole. Accidents, heater fires, gas explosions.
There's got to be a reason.
The reason is you want to be a star again. Forget it. Give it up. You'll feel better.
There's something to this. I know it.
What are you talking about? Arson is insurance. It's always been insurance.
We still investigate the cases, Biggs. The people in this house are dead.
Go soak your head, Phelps. This hero business is a full-time obsession with you.
I'm gonna
Man.
make this case. I'm gonna rub the department's nose in it. Help me or stay out of my way. You got it?
Oh, no love lost there. Man, Biggs. Not wanting to do the work. What is it with every single guy that we get? With the exception of Bukowski, none of Cole's partners have wanted to really help him out, have really wanted to work on the cases. All right, I don't feel like driving, so let's have Biggs take us to, let's see, what's
I
next?
thought this was such a nice area.
That Gulliver's Travel
You know the
Agency.
way. You can drive.
So where do you want to go?
Nitz the Jader says, that makes for an awkward car ride. Indeed. Captain says he's guilty because he likes fire. It has nothing to do with the cigarettes. Well, that's certainly why they brought him in, because of his past history liking fires.
Detectives Phelps and Biggs, LAPD. John Cunningham. Can I help you, gentlemen? We have reason to believe that the Sawyer family of 4414 Rosewood Avenue recently won a competition run by your company.
Yes, I remember them. They called up to cancel at the last minute. One of the kids was sick. Very unfortunate.
Do you mind if I take a look at that?
Okay, so we have a manifest of everyone who had tickets. Let's see, the Steffens family of 5. Catalina Islands, they collected their ticket. Boyle. So Steffens is the fire. The first one we went to. Steffens is the first one we went to. They collected their tickets and they went. Then there was Sawyer, family of 4, and they canceled.
The Sawyer family, Rosewood Avenue. Here they are, Steffens.
Who else collected? Oh, that's it. All right, we'll, hold on a second. This is as good a time as any for an ad. Let's play one of those. I got a fancy new ad button here. And while that ad is playing, let me look up my cheat sheet. Okay. So we've got 2 questions. The first is whether or not they know anything about the Suburban Redevelopment Fund. Fancer Wolf says no ad, lol. Yeah, I don't know why ads work. Sometimes ads don't work other times. All right, first one, Suburban Redevelopment
I can see
Fund.
why cops never take holidays. They stand around all day with their minds on vacation.
Tell us about the Suburban Redevelopment Fund.
There's not much to tell. They run a promotion. Our promotions mailing list covers half of LA.
Daniel the Gamer says there was an ad for me. Oh, did I forget to change the screen? I'm sorry. There we go. I'm going to have to get used to this. My new fancy buttons here are gonna get confusing. Anyway, you heard what we asked. Now we have to decide whether or not he's lying. But look at his body posture. His body posture is pretty great. Maintaining eye contact with Cole Phelps. I'd say this is truth. Let's wait for him to do his side comment, and then we'll go with truth.
If I needed a mannequin for the store window, I'd buy one. How about running along now?
A little snarky. Truth.
So they are not a government agency?
I don't believe so. Government organizations don't usually get involved in promotions.
Laura says it'll become second nature. Thanks, Laura. I'm sure it will. Next, we'll ask about the promotional travel contest.
I'm told the tickets were a prize.
Yes, they were.
You do a lot of these prizes.
Look, there are hundreds of these promotions running at any one time. If you're the lucky guy, you get your name pulled out of a hat.
Something awkward about the way he answered that question there. Very reluctant to give us some information about that. I think we'll have to do a doubt when we get there. Acidic Sentimental says, Ox, what is the switch you're using? I'm using Stream Deck. I've had it for a while, but it's always been cumbersome with my streaming rig over there and my gaming rig over here. But while I was cleaning my office today, I ran a really long USB cord from my streaming rig all the way over here, and now I've got my little console, and I'm going to try it out, see if it works.
I can see why cops never take holidays. They stand around all day with their minds on vacation.
This guy has 2 different snarky comments. He's the first one that has 2, I think. Give it a little bit more time, and then we'll doubt.
While the Sawyer family were supposed to be at Catalina Island, their house burnt down. You consider them lucky?
Christ. I'm sorry to hear that.
Can you tell me who offered the prize won by the Sawyer family?
Sure. Look, there's supposed to be some sort of supervised draw with hundreds of tickets. But the reality is the Suburban Redevelopment Fund calls me every couple of weeks and tells me exactly who has won.
Ooh.
Thanks for your help.
No problem. Just wish I could do something for that family.
You could put round the hat. A few bucks would really help them now.
I suppose so.
Good. I'll put you down for 50. I could tell you were Samaritan the minute I walked in the door.
50? Are you
Good man, Cunningham. You're all right.
Yeah, I'm great. Poorer, but great.
Herschel kind of did the donation for him. Let's have Biggs take us to the Suburban Redevelopment Fund. See what we can
You
dish
drive.
up there.
I need to go over the case notes.
Fine. Where are we headed?
So, the drawing was rigged.
Let me guess. You want to check out the Suburban address?
Great partners must think alike, Herschel.
Underpass says, I like the frame around the face cam. Thanks. It's new. I'm trying it out.
This is
Elysian
supposed to be the
Fields.
registered offices of the Suburban Redevelopment Fund.
This is an Elysian housing development, Mac.
So Elysian is an investor in the redevelopment fund.
Looks that way.
Are we done here, Mac? I've got work to do.
Sure, buddy. Thanks for your help. Elysian are investors in the Suburban Redevelopment. So what? If you think I'm putting my pension on the line and harassing Leland Monroe without evidence, you're out of your mind.
Ooh. So he's about ready to retire. He's thinking about his pension. Let's see if there's anything in here for us, aside from the pinups. What you working on there, buddy? What's this?
So Elysian Fields builds the houses, while the Suburban Redevelopment Fund foots the bill.
Delivered to Elysian Fields Development Site Office to Frank Osterman from Mr. Leland Monroe regarding budget and supply. Daily reports and requisitions must be addressed Suburban Redevelopment and submitted in triplicate. Failure to submit dailies is grounds for dismissal. Incorrectly filed supply requests will be ignored. So why all this hullabaloo about the Suburban Redevelopment Fund? The address points here. This is an Elysian Fields Development Site Office, and yet everything has to be addressed Suburban Redevelopment? Well, let's see if we can track down.
Can you drive to this one?
Actually, no.
All right. Where to?
That's right. The fire chief said he wanted us to head back to the station. He had something to show us. Let's go back to the station.
Lynch says we should visit him at Fire Station 32.
Who exactly is this guy, Lynch?
Lynch is a legend. You should feel privileged. He doesn't let many people into the inner sanctum. Keep your mouth shut, and you'll learn something about fires.
The inner sanctum of the firehouse. He should feel honored.
We came as soon as we could.
I swear, this town is going straight to
Lynch.
Biggs, you two investigating the house fire on Kenmore Avenue as well?
Yep. Why?
I had a look around the place while I was out there.
Do you believe the fire?
I deal in facts, Phelps. Evidence of an explosion. No obvious sign of accelerants. Wiring looks intact. Come and take a look at this.
This the heater from the Sawyer fire, Al?
Yes, it is.
Huh. Looks like it was recently serviced.
The
I
last
have
3
a
times
theory,
were also by the
and
same
it's
guy.
a theory only. I don't have enough evidence to prove...
Al, if you say it's so, we're listening.
Okay, Phelps. You're a bright penny. You have a gas supply. You have a Bunsen burner as a pilot light. You have a regulator valve, and the balloon represents the gas expanding in the room. Now, the gas has to make contact with the mosquito coil to form an explosion. Let's see if you can work out the chain of events.
Oh, great. Okay. Regulator valve. The balloon probably has to be next to the mosquito coil. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Oh.
Come on, Phelps. You need to get the arrangement right before we can reproduce the results.
Ah.
The gas bubble needs to be next to the coil if it's gonna ignite.
Ah, come on. Don't spoil it for me. I had it.
Good, your regulator's in position. Okay, I'll light your pilot and turn the gas on.
You pull the lever on the left to turn on the gas.
So that's how it's being done.
Maybe. There could be a fault with these valves. I've adjusted this one for our experiment, but you need to take it to InstaHeat and see what they say. Their headquarters is on North Harvard Boulevard, number 262.
Thanks, Albert.
You're welcome, Biggs. See you at the next show.
Hold on 1 minute. I got a little girl calling at me. Yes, honey. What? Oh, you thought, it's a robot like the one in my office. No. I'm smoking in here. You can't come in while I'm smoking. I'll be done in a bit, okay? When I'm done, I'll let you know. No, I don't. Well, you can hold on. Okay. Where was I? Ah. Actually. Okay, going to the Insta-Heat factory. Let's have Herschel Biggs take us there. Let's see, where'd he go? There he is. Nope, that's not it. Where's the car? The car's out here.
Let me guess. Hiding from the wife?
Move over, Herschel.
You're behind the wheel. And where
Insta-Heat.
exactly are we going?
That's the point. Look at him.
Station. Starting salary.
Show?
The next fire. We should go to the factory and see how many of these things are going bang in the night.
You know this Chapman character?
Guy's a freak. Loves fires. He's the kind of guy that we'd like for a lot of things, but we don't really have any credible evidence to pursue him with.
You look like you were a big pain in the neck. Now I have a much slower.
LAPD detectives, ma'am. We need to speak to someone in charge.
I see. Well, duty manager for today is Mr. Rasick. You should find him in his office.
All right, this must be his office.
Because he knows where all the bad girls live.
Did you read about the Terrellson case in the paper? That's the detective who solved it. Those poor kids losing everything.
Nope, these are our secretaries doing all sorts of secretarial work. So
He
let's.
plays the saxophone.
Herschel.
Oh, and boy, can he get me
Herschel.
going.
Let's go around the other way. There's the main guy's office.
I don't need this.
Done by robots.
I swear, this town is going straight to hell.
New and improved model. They'll be selling these like hotcakes.
Oh, just you wait.
Stay off the moonshine, putz!
Detective Phelps and Biggs, arson. We're investigating a couple of house fires. What can you tell us about this?
Pressure regulator from a Model 70. Let me take a look. We have a problem. This has been tampered with.
What?
You see this diaphragm? It forms a seal across the saddle here. Gas flows across from here to here. The diaphragm regulates flow. It's been reversed. It's a subtle change, but it means the gas never closes off properly.
Herschel's face there was. What is he saying? Why is he talking to me? Okay. Well, let's ask him about the Model 70.
So you're telling me that this is not a manufacturing fault or service repair?
I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with the design.
Well, I mean, the problem with the design is that it can be altered like this. You shouldn't be able to put it back together in working order with such a fault like they can. And I think he knows it, which is why he's looking a little uncomfortable here, grimacing every now and then, wincing almost as if he's in pain. We'll doubt his story. I don't think he's telling the full truth.
We could do this some other time if you're not feeling well.
And doubt.
You're telling me that you've never had any problems with this heater?
Look, we've changed the design since the Model 70.
These things are still being installed?
It's the demand. None of us could keep up with the amount of housing going up. At the budget end, we're still using some of the old stock. We are installing 100 heaters a week. They're not all faulty.
They're not all safe either.
So is he admitting to something else here? I mean, first it's sabotage, now he's saying they're not all faulty. Can only the older models be sabotaged like this? Let's ask him about the service history.
Are these diaphragms prone to failure?
They tend to go after a while. The rubber lasts quite a few years and then it perishes.
So the guys' names that I've been seeing doing the repairs on the heaters, they're fully licensed and accredited.
Sure, of course they are.
Now, I don't understand this one, so let's view the notebook. Serviced by Matthew Ryan. Serviced by Varley, Reginald Varley. So what I don't get is that the correct answer here is lie. But I don't understand why the two names of the service guys that we found so far make Cole assume that it's a lie. I mean, there's nothing in those names that tells us that they're not accredited or qualified. All right, so let's set this out, wait for him to do his snarky bit, and then we'll accuse him of lying. Happy Cow says, hey there, Ox. Feels good to catch your stream, my good sir.
We could do this some other time if you're not feeling well.
Happy Cow, it's great to have you on the program. Glad you caught me live. All right, let's accuse him of a lie.
I think you're lying, Rasik. I think some of your men aren't fully licensed. You're desperate to cover your sales.
And how are you going to prove that, Detective? Name me one of my guys who would have overlooked a fault like this.
Okay, well then having him ask that would make a bit more sense. We can name two of the guys. The first evidence we have is Ryan, Matthew Ryan, serviced this house 3 times before it went up in smoke. Then we've got Varley, Reginald Varley, same thing. Either of these will work.
What about Reginald Varley?
You know about Varley. He's on the run for a divorce interstate. It's not so bad.
You in the habit of hiring criminals, Rasik?
I need guys, Detective. This boom is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
I want you to get me a copy of the list of your installers.
Okay, I'll get it for you. There around a dozen of them. Housing business is going crazy at the moment.
This is a long shot. We are not going to roust that whole list.
I want to run it by R&I, cross-reference for arsonists. See if any of these guys have any previous. Sir, I need to use your phone.
Go right ahead.
Whoa! Easy!
Okay, we'll use his phone.
Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
Only movie stars have things
Phelps,
like that.
badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need to know if any of the following names have a previous criminal history.
Okay, Detective, run the names.
Acevedo Ernesto, Clemens Walter, Elgram John, Gable Leroy, Kelligrew Peter, Kuttner Robert, Limehouse Albert, Manning Franklin, Neves Raymond, O'Brien Thomas, Ryan Matthew, Spurgeon William, Varley Reginald, Zurich Stephen.
Clemens Walter. Previous conviction for arson and malicious damage. Burned down a house in Westwood in 1942. 4-year jail term.
Thanks.
Ryan Matthew. Charged for contempt of court. Attempted murder.
2 hits.
Plea bargain down to assault charge.
Anyone else?
There is a Reginald Varley wanted for murder by Detroit Police Department.
Thanks. You've been a big help, young lady.
Young lady?
Going to church doesn't make you any more
I bet you like that.
Your employment roster is quite the rogues gallery, Mr. Rasick. Desperate times indeed.
Do you have an address for Clemens?
He's working on an apartment building on Catalina and 3rd.
What about Ryan?
Currently working at a housing development on Normandy and 1st Street.
Varley, where is he?
Beverly and Mariposa, currently working on a new housing development. Hey, Varley's a good guy. You can't harass all my people.
These guys have lockers.
Yes, they do, but my men have a right to some privacy. Don't you need a warrant or something?
Show him and keep quiet.
I love how we just ignore needing warrants in 1947.
Here. Happy now?
Stick around, Mr. Rasick.
Okay, so 3 lockers.
Plays the saxophone. Oh, and boy,
Franklin.
get me going.
Leroy Gable. Walter Clemens.
Clemens is a fellow traveler.
An anarchist essay. Should I read this whole thing during my lore video? When ignorance reigns in society and disorder in the minds of men, laws are multigated, legislations is expected to din everything. No, I don't think I'm going to read this whole thing. That's a lot to read. All right, so we found a fellow traveler. See if we can find the other names. Peter Kelligrew, Albert Limehouse, Ernesto, Matthew Ryan.
Oh, Susie, you are so bad.
Whoa.
Some light reading on the merciless capitalist machine.
I love the way he says that. Oh, we can see it better here.
Ryan wants the world to be a better place, don't we all?
Indeed, for some thousands of years, those who govern us have done nothing but ring the changes upon respect for law, obedience to authority. This is the moral atmosphere in which parents bring up their children, and school only serves to confirm the impression. Cleverly assorted scraps of spurious science are inculcated upon the children to prove necessity of law. All right. All right, and what's the last guy? Robert Cutler, Thomas. Reginald Varley, there it is. Hello, what is he doing with a mosquito coil?
My company went through thousands of these in the war. Still got eaten alive.
And what's inside?
Varley has a problem with bugs.
Highly coincidental. An arsonist's favorite way of lighting a fire, and it just so happens to be in this guy's locker. You
know that a mosquito coil takes an hour to burn down, Rasick?
No, I didn't know that.
It's the favorite choice of ignition by arsonists. Gives them time to get away.
You're crazy. He probably lives near the canals in Venice. Mind if I leave you to it? I got work waiting.
And back to work he goes. We now have 3
birds.
suspects.
Clemens, Ryan, Varley. Where to, Phelps?
He plays the saxophone. Oh, and boy, can he get
Well,
me going.
Let's go back to the car.
Stay off the moonshine, putz!
The characters and their outbursts are just crazy. Hello, what's this? All right, so the arsonist is working.
Talk is cheap. Try hiring a lawyer.
See what the guide says. Looks like we can go to any of the suspects' work sites. And I don't think it matters which one we choose first.
You know the way. You can drive.
So where do you want to go?
Let's go to Clemens. Let's just go in the order it's presented.
Did you read about the woman who stabbed her husband and pushed him in front of the car?
Biggs, LAPD. We want some answers, and we want them quick.
Okay, okay. What's this all about? Just tell me what you want.
I recognize this guy. Didn't he play in Mad Men? Okay, 3 questions. Knowledge of Varley.
You know Reginald Varley?
No? Can't say I do.
Even though you work together? Well, that's highly suspicious. Even though we have proof they work together, strangely enough, the correct answer for this is doubt. Possibly due to his facial expressions and body posture. Look at that smarmy smirk. The Phoenix says most of the actors in this game were in Mad Men. There were a couple of times when I've seen faces I recognized from Mad Men. In the last episode, there was a receptionist or someone who saw a murder or something we briefly talked to, and I recognized her face as one of the major stars of Mad Men.
Either of you two know how to do some soldering? You can't just stand around here all day doing nothing.
Oh, so he wants to put us to work soldering? Yeah, but solder melts at a low temperature. That probably wouldn't be good for putting in a water heater, would it? Right, we'll doubt his story.
Detroit PD is after Reginald Varley for murder. You want us to run you in for aiding and abetting, Clemens?
Whoa, 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 whoa. All I know about Varley is he gets kickbacks from some developer. He does their work first. Spreads it around if he can.
Oh, so Elysian Fields or the Suburban Redevelopment Fund is giving him kickbacks? Why? So that he installs water heaters incorrectly? Only on certain houses that are all on vacation? Interesting. I think we just got a big clue. Next.
You were licensed and worked for InstaHeat?
I contract for them. So what?
He didn't answer that one, did he? He didn't say he was licensed, just that he contracts. Hey, Tech and Mary, subscribe with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much. Oh, look at this frown. His face is just... and confused. Every now and then, some of these facial expressions just go overboard. A bit too much. This guy looks really out of his depth. Mad at himself for forgetting something that's gotten himself in hot water.
You look like you haven't got a clue.
Oh, we haven't got a clue. He's the one who looks like he hasn't got a clue. Look at that. As soon as he finishes saying that, he shakes his head confused. Hey, Chaku, subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much. Good to have so many of you here today. All right, this also is Doubt.
Instead hires arsonists, does it?
I've worked as a fitter all my life. Put everything I had into that house. And my fucking mud shark of a wife gets awarded it in settlement. She's blowing spics 2 at a time while I'm at work. And she gets the house. Yeah, I burnt it all right. Set fire to that fucker and watched it burn to the ground. I did my time and I'd do it again.
Sorry about the rouse, Clemens. You did the right thing.
Oh, that rang a note with Herschel Biggs. As soon as he found out about his wife, he's like, oh, okay, yeah, you burned down your house because your wife won it in the divorce. Oh, good man, good man. Where do these LA cops come from? Man. Okay. Well, the next one is Knowledge of Ryan.
Do you know Matthew Ryan?
No. Don't know the name.
Just like he didn't know Reginald. But we have pretty concrete evidence that he knows Ryan. They are both fellow anarchists. And look at his vacant expression. He's got it. He can't keep his mouth. Oh, what was that? This guy's expressions are really animated. A bit too much. Each one is different. Close your mouth. Close your mouth. Keep it closed. He keeps on thinking of something new. His eyebrows go up, then he smirks and looks down. Oh, I love this guy. He's so great.
Either of you two know how to do some soldering? You can't just stand around here all day doing nothing.
Duh. Lie.
You and Ryan are fifth columnists.
And how do you figure that, wise
hey,
guy?
Chaku
What
gifted
proof do you have?
Tier 1
Been
subs to a
following me to
bunch
meetings?
of people. Danny Bow, Fancier Wolf, Aaron, Holes, and Axel. Very kind. All right, the answer here, the correct answer here is Clemens' anarchist pamphlet, which we found in his locker and matches the one we found in Ryan's locker.
We found a pamphlet in your locker, Clemens. We can add your name to the register. HUAC might want to interview you.
That shit was from Ryan. He's always pushing that shit on people. Drives me nuts. He's got it in for the company.
All right, Clemens. You're off the hook for the moment.
Can I get back to work now?
Let's get out of here, Phelps. He ain't our guy.
All right, so he's a snarky guy, smirking guy, but he is not our guy. Well, that leaves two. Herschel really liked him. He liked the whole getting revenge on the ex-wife sort of thing.
You can drive.
All right. Where to?
Let's go hunt down Varley's work site.
Farley's on the run. He might be packing heat. If he's wanted for murder, I say we take the doubt out of the equation and let him have it.
You nervous?
It's been a while.
You were in combat.
In 1917. You know, I never fired my weapon in the line of duty.
Goodness, this big.
That's nothing to be ashamed of. I hope your piece is still serviceable, Herschel.
I may be old and out of practice, but I'm still a Marine, Phelps.
It would be better for our case if we could bring him in, Herschel.
Biggs just wants to kill the guy. Oh, please don't say we gotta chase him. I really don't want to have to chase him.
LAPD, Varley! Stop or I'll shoot!
And of course, he runs for it. What I don't get is why these LAPD cops, when they find someone who they think is going to be the runner, they just stop and shout at him, giving him plenty of time to run away with a big lead. Oh, I remember this. Running through the houses. I hated running through the houses. Isn't there a steamroller? I think I remember there being a steamroller.
You run all the way from Michigan, Reginald?
Okay. I want to tackle him. Get me close enough to tackle him. Almost there. Let me tap. Punch him in the face. No, back of the head too. That's good. The sides. Oh. What was that? Just elbowed him in the groin.
Why did you run from us, Varley?
I'm gonna take a wild guess that you're the same Reginald Varley the Detroit police have an outstanding warrant on. How am I doing so far?
I need a lawyer before I talk to any of you.
Reginald Varley, you're under arrest for committing a series of arsons. You're also under arrest for murder. Detroit PD will be putting in a request for your extradition. Until then, you're a guest of the city.
Arson? You can't hang that rap on me.
Be quiet. Be thankful we don't shoot you.
Are all the cops in this town crazy?
Take him away, officer.
Okay, so he didn't deny the murder, but he did deny the arson. Strange. Well, looks like we have to question him back at the shop. Next, it's Ryan. All right, let's go for Ryan.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
And where exactly are we going?
Black Tusk Mortis says, "Evening, Ox. Hope I'm not coming in too late. You're coming in about halfway through."
You know that face? That's the guy who busted all those Negro drug pushers last week, isn't it?
I think we've got a fan. Okay.
Are you Matthew Ryan?
Who's asking?
Detective Phelps and Biggs.
Walk
Arson
closer
squad.
before you tell him he's LAPD.
You heard the man.
Let's just put this stuff in the car and I'll be right with you.
Oh, yeah.
Hold it, Ryan.
Oop. There we go. Going on a runner. Saw that coming a mile away. Oh!
Those are GI's backyards he's crashing through.
The damage is only cosmetic.
He's a one-man wrecking ball.
Oh, I'll take out the bear.
That ruins it for me. I'm done. Oops, sorry, come through.
Almost. He's going to kill those men.
They'll get out of the way.
Only if they hear him coming.
Close in, Phelps. We need to take Ryan down before he hurts somebody. It's no good. We need to get closer.
No. Oh, no. Oh, I'm getting every light post.
Enough games, Phelps. Take this guy out. Okay.
Oh!
One traffic stop coming up.
He's got an arson-related assault charge, and he's running.
Running don't mean nothing. We gotta get this guy in the room before we can get an angle on him.
This man has got to be stopped.
Working on it, Cole. Calm down. We got one of his tires left on a rim.
Smash the son of a bitch's rear wheel.
Oh, I think I ruined the car. Yep, I ruined the car.
Jesus, what is he doing?
The tramp! Go!
Get into the car. Nope, he wrecked it. Run faster, Cole. He wrecked the car. Come on, all the way, faster. You can do it before he gets out. There we go, top speed, marine speed. Move those feet. Now he'll just sit there and wait, that's fine. Yeah, he looks like he's in pain. Just don't get hit on the way.
Put your hands where I can see them. Why did you run, Ryan?
I was scared.
You got a reason to be scared, Ryan?
Matthew Ryan, I'm arresting you on suspicion of committing a series of arsons.
All right, so we got 2 in the cage. Big Al says, and that is why Herschel should drive. Look, tell me something I don't know. This is why I have them drive for every single case.
As much as I'd like it to be Chapman, I think it's one of the other 2 guys. Let's get to the station and close this case.
Sounds good. To the station
You're
we go.
behind the wheel.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Danny Does It says those 1940s suit shoes aren't meant for top speed, apparently. No, he sort of just waltzed over that blacktop, didn't he? All right, is this guy going to be nice to us?
I have 2 suspects.
Phelps, you got nothing. Biggs, Ryan's waiting for you in interview 1. Varley's in 2.
Hey, Hopkins, you practicing your asshole routine again? Come on, Phelps.
All right, let's try Ryan first. Interview room 1, here we are.
Save yourself some time and get this thing off your chest.
If that's your opening gambit, you better try again.
Laura says, are we growing on Biggs? Maybe. Maybe Biggs is starting to respect us as a case man. After all, he only knew Cole through reputation, then that same reputation got trashed. Now he gets to know Cole as a real human being. So maybe Biggs will start to respect us, but first we got to solve this case.
So you want to change the world, Ryan?
Yes, I do. So does every reasonable person.
And you're doing your part?
Yes, I am.
Does that include sabotaging water heaters to destroy a company?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The really confusing thing about this is he says he has no idea what we're talking about when we mentioned the arson, trying to destroy a company by getting a bunch of houses to set on fire. And yet the correct answer here is to accuse him of lying by using the anarchist pamphlets as the evidence. And I think that this may be why I did so abysmally poor when I went through this on my first time. I only got 1 star, and it's because I think I got every single question wrong. Because his anarchist pamphlets don't really have anything to do with the fire, do they? They just tell us a little bit more about his politics, but just because you're an anarchist doesn't necessarily mean you're also an anarchist.
You think you can sweat me like this? Keep dreaming, Copper.
Oh, he calls us Copper? It's 1947, not 1927. Hey there, Copper. You like the sound of my Tommy gun? All right, well, he's lying.
This is industrial sabotage, Ryan. It's all part of your campaign.
You're delusional, detective. What campaign?
See, and we only get a reference to the anarchist pamphlets by already accusing him of lying. This is why the whole truth, doubt, lie thing doesn't really work in L.A. Noire. So we got to scroll all the way down to Ryan's anarchists pamphlets. He had an entire stack in his locker. So this is where they all came from. When we found Clemens' pamphlet, he said he got it from Ryan. He didn't really care about it. He took it to just shut Ryan up.
Your locker is full of pamphlets. Clemens told us how you were always foisting them on people.
Sure. I spread the pamphlets. A guy has to do something. Insta-heat heaters break down every day. They're still peddling the same lousy design that they lifted from Hephaestus.
Insta-heat bought out Hephaestus?
Them, Vulcan, Pyro, and a bunch of other companies.
And you still work for them?
A guy has to work.
And the directors of the company, how do you feel about them these days?
You work it out.
I suddenly have a bit of sympathy for the guy. Because he is right that InstaHeat has been using a bunch of outdated models. We learned that when we talked with the manager. Let's see if he has anything else to say about the newer model, though, the Model 70.
You know how to reverse a diaphragm in the regulator valve of a Model 70 heater?
No, I don't.
So, first he tells us all about how they're using the older models, because apparently he knows how much better the newer model is, but then when we ask him about the newer model, he's like, oh, no, I don't know anything about it, officer. Right. Well, he's lying again. Let's wait for him to do his snide comment, and then we'll accuse him of lying. And the evidence is, of course, Ivan Rasick's statement. Grey Ghost says, good to see Oxhorn. How's the snow there? Well, it stopped snowing a few days ago, so now we're just waiting for all of the snow that's piled up to melt. Every day I go out there to try and get my car out of that snowdrift that I plowed it into, and the snow gets lower and lower and lower, but the stuff that's still there is slick as ice, so I can't get my car out.
I can wait just as long as you can.
This guy's a snarky little twerp, isn't he? All right, well, he's a liar.
If you know enough to do your job, you know enough to do that repair. You're lying, Ryan.
And how do you think you can prove that?
By pointing to Ivan Rasick's statement. It's easy to tamper with one of these regulators, as anyone who works at the company would know.
Your boss at InstaHeat said that you've all been trained to do it. It's a common repair. Are you calling him a liar?
Okay, so I know how it's done. But what would be the point? You just end up with a gas leak and then a small fire when you turn the pilot back on.
And if you didn't reset the pilot and the gas spread, what was the cause of the fire in your own home, Ryan?
I won't tell you.
He just flat out said he didn't want to tell us. What is it with this guy? Not being cooperative. Let's see if he knows anything about the Suburban Redevelopment Fund.
What can you tell me about the Suburban Redevelopment Fund?
Nothing.
Mogster says, have some snow melt delivered from Amazon, Ox. I did. The first day of snow, I did a big purchase because I wasn't prepared for the snow. So I went on Amazon while the power was still out on my phone. I bought a bunch of candles, some lanterns with 3 day long batteries, and a bunch of snow melt. It still hasn't arrived. Amazon isn't coming to houses that are this thick in snow. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm deep in the woods. I got a long gravel driveway, and it's covered in snow, so they're probably just not delivering to me right now. Now, we don't have any proof that he knows or doesn't know anything about the Suburban Redevelopment Fund at this point, but he's looking awfully uncomfortable. So we're going to say that we're going to doubt his story here. Grego says, I like the frame on your window. Good. This thing, hold on. Can't point. Yeah.
You think you can sweat me like this? Keep dreaming, Copper.
Yeah, there, Copper. Bunch of wise guys. Let's doubt.
I think Suburban is a front for your anarchist buddies. They're arranging for people to be out of town while you burn their houses down.
Suburban? What's that got to do with me? That's Farley's bilk. He's the one with the cozy agreement with those fascists.
Ah. So this guy's just an idealist. A brain-dead, poor idealist. He's not going to be setting these fires. He's more interested in corporations. But Varley, we'll have to talk to him in a minute. Finally, the attempted murder charge.
You have a history of violence.
I have no such thing.
Well, we know that he's lying here. And in fact, we can either doubt his story to get the correct answer or choose lie. But we don't need to doubt it since we have evidence that he's lying, so we'll simply point to that. And the evidence that he's lying is what we learned from R&I about his history. Is that right? Yeah, Ryan's criminal record, which we got from R&I. Here he's looking really nervous, hoping Cole doesn't put 2 and 2 together. Big Al says, Ox secretly lives in a Vault-Tec vault. Yeah, here I am, 30 feet beneath the earth. Streaming live on YouTube.
I can wait just as long as you can.
Just like the Enclave, right?
You're lying, Ryan.
And how exactly are you going to prove that?
Well, we just called into R&I. We've got evidence of your criminal record, Ryan.
You were charged with attempted murder, Ryan.
It was a court case. No criminal liability was the verdict. They said that they couldn't have known that the faulty heater installation would cause a fire. All I know is I lost my whole family. And the company that was responsible got away with it.
Oh.
What would you do?
Which company?
Hephaestos Water Heater Company.
Now we begin to understand why he's here. He had a family. He worked on their house. The house burned down, killing his entire family. He was so upset that he wanted revenge on the company that had such a poor water heater, the Hephaestos company. But that company got bought out by InstaHeat. So what does he do? He goes and works for InstaHeat to try and take the company down from the inside. No, I don't think this is our guy. He doesn't sound like an arsonist. He's already been burned by arson in the past or by house fires. And I don't think he would want to inflict that kind of pain onto another human being. He's messed up, sure, but I don't think he's a murderer, and I don't think he's an arsonist. So we're not going to charge him. Let's go talk to the other guy.
That's it for the moment, Ryan.
So I can go?
Sure. As soon as your red friends storm the building and carry you out, you'll keep your seat until we decide how long to lock you up for, knucklehead. I think Ryan is our man, but procedure says we eliminate all of the suspects. Let's speak to Varley.
Sounds good, Harley. Let's go find interview room 2. And there he is. Cool as you like.
That bum took a swipe at me. Put him down in my sap.
I want to make homicide. I mean, you know you've made it if you got that desk.
We have Matthew Ryan in custody, Varley. I think all we need to do is ask him about this, and he'll rat you out.
Fuck Ryan, that pinko bastard.
All right, let me go back to my cheat sheet. Can I have 10, 15 minutes? Okay. All right, I need to kiss the kiddos goodnight. They're going to be going to bed soon. But I think I have enough time to finish up this recording. So let's finish this interview, and then we'll charge a suspect, and then I'll end the broadcast for tonight. We'll start by asking about his recent work at the Sawyer residence.
Have you ever worked on a place on Rosewood Avenue? Family by the name of Sawyer?
Maybe. I'm from out of town. I go where they send me. I don't do a lot of repairs, though. I'm flat out on new installations.
Flat out on new installations? And look at this guy chewing his tongue. Let's see if he even opens his mouth. Nope, he's really liking the taste of that tongue. Slight. Oh, now he's got that lower lip. He's going to bite down on that lower lip. Bite it until it bleeds. He doesn't want to release anything. He's keeping everything back. Nope. Oh, sorry. I did it again, didn't I? I did it again. My bad. I was enjoying this guy's facial expressions. Now you can enjoy them now that I've switched this over. Sorry about that. He's biting that lower lip. He's chewing on his tongue. He's gulping big.
Hey, buddy, why don't you stand around some more while I sneak out that door?
If you're going to be sneaking out of a police station, don't tell the police officer, hey, I'm going to be sneaking out. Just turn around and close your eyes and count to 10. It's Varley guy, not the criminal mastermind. But we know he's lying because we saw his name on a work order on the back of that water heater.
Why are you lying to me, Varley? If Suburban wants their new installations completed, why are you bothering with wrecks like the Sawyer house?
So I'm lying just because I can't remember if I was there or not? How can you prove that I was?
Well, we can't prove that he forgot, if that's the big question. But we can prove that he was there by pointing to the heater serviced by Ryan, if I can select it. No, this is Varley, sorry. Heater serviced by Varley.
Your name is on the inside door of their water heater.
Okay. You got me there. Suburban, yeah, they wanted that guy out. Sawyer kept complaining about not being able to get his heater service, so they threw in a free service as a sweetener. I think he played him, though, because he still wouldn't sell.
He played them, though, because he still wouldn't sell? So he got a free water heater inspection out of it, and then said that he still wouldn't sell. But he's not admitting at this moment that he sabotaged the water heater. Has that even crossed his mind? Well, let's learn more about the Suburban Redevelopment Fund and their cozy relationship with him.
Word is, you're in the pocket of some property developer?
Never. I got principles.
This is a weird case. We'll get to that in just a second. But we've got two options to accuse him of lying here. We've got Walter Clemens' statement and Matthew Ryan's statement. And he is sitting here smug as you like. Really thinks he's got one up on the old LAPD. But he doesn't realize the cards that we're holding, so we'll let him sit there smug for a bit. Raising those eyebrows. Really clever, he thinks he is.
Hey, buddy, why don't you stand around some more while I sneak out that door?
But not that clever. We'll accuse him of lying.
How did Suburban put the squeeze on you? Did they find out about your record?
There's no way you can link me to Suburban. You're wasting your time.
This is another thing that I don't get. He just answered in the last case that he was talking with Suburban, that Suburban wanted that last family out. So how would he know Suburban wanted that last family out if he didn't talk with them? So he kind of gave that away in the last answer, if we got it right. But now, in the second question, it's like that answer didn't happen. Either way, we've got a couple of different ways to respond. We can point to Walter Clemens' statement, which we got back at the house, said that Reginald Varley was getting kickbacks. Or we can choose Matthew Ryan's statement, who also said that Varley was conspiring with the Suburban Redevelopment Fund. Either way, we'll get this one right.
Hey, buddy, why don't you stand around some more while I sneak out that door?
Ryan says you offered to cut him in on the kickbacks they were offering. He'll testify in court.
Suburban, they got real-time pressure on getting some of the big developments finished. There's some big date that they can't afford to miss. So yeah, I took their money. But so did a lot of guys, all right? Carpenters, electricians, plumbers. It's no big conspiracy.
Huh. So it's more than just water heaters? Are we thinking shoddy plumbing, shoddy construction as well? If that's the case, then that means the Suburban Redevelopment Fund wouldn't be depending upon just a fire from a water heater to get these people out. Anyway, finally, we'll talk about the InstaHeat Model 70.
What would reversing the diaphragm of an InstaHeat Model 70 do?
Yeah, I made that mistake before. You get a big bang when you turn the pilot back on.
So you didn't deliberately sabotage the water heater at the Sawyer house?
No, I did not. You out of your mind?
And we don't have any evidence that he actually reverse engineered the water heater at either of the houses or the one that he worked on. But we did find that mosquito coil in his locker, which is highly suspicious. And so that's what we'll use to accuse him of here. But again, no matter what answer we get here, we don't have concrete evidence that he caused any of these fires, that he is an arsonist, which is going to lead us to our final accusation choice, which is really weird. And again, which is another reason why I didn't get 4 stars when I went through this on my own. But let's wait for him to finish his little side comment, and then we'll accuse him. He's, again, acting really suspicious here, this time disappointed in himself. He is failing to meet eye contact with Cole and looking down a lot. Back to biting his lips. This guy really likes to bite his lips and chew on his mouth. He's disappointed. Disappointed in himself for being caught. Getting caught up in this.
Hey, buddy, why don't you stand around some more while I sneak out that door?
All right, we'll accuse him of lying and point to the mosquito coils.
I don't believe you, Varley. I think Suburban wants homeowners who don't want to sell out of the way.
I think you're out of your mind. Where is the evidence that I have done anything to contribute to this fire, huh?
Down we go to the mosquito coils we found in Reginald Varley's locker.
Arsonists use cigarettes and mosquito coils as time delay fuses. We found an open box of mosquito coils in your locker.
Whoa, hang on. Those things, they belong to Ryan, all right? He asked me to hold them because his locker's full of stupid pamphlets. I thought he used them for camping.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that the correct answer would finger Ryan like that. Because here's the way it works. If we accuse him, which we can do, we can get through this case either way. But by accusing either of these guys, if we accuse him, we only get 3 stars. And the captain tells us off as if we've made a mistake. But if we accuse the communist guy, the anarchist, we get 4 stars. And I guess the reason is because the mosquito coil originally belonged to him, and he was just holding it, if this guy's story can be believed. So we're going to back out of accusing him.
We're done for now.
So what happens?
You're either going back to Detroit to face a murder rap, or you're staying here to answer for these arsons.
I say we bust in there and find the goddamn evidence.
All right, so let's go back and accuse the guy in interview room 1, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm thinking of moving up to a 45. I want to stop him with 1 round.
Guy gave his wife a tap.
Matthew Ryan, I'm charging you with committing a series of arsons and for the murders of Hank Sawyer, Edwina Sawyer, Henry Sawyer, and Jessica Sawyer.
You're putting an innocent man away here. You hear me? I didn't set any fires. I didn't kill that family.
Phelps, what you did to your wife and kids was un-American.
My wife threw me out.
Did I ask for your opinion? You're here to listen to mine. What I was going to say, before I was interrupted, was you did a good job on the Stephen Sawyer case. We don't often get results in arson, so well done.
What about me? Do I get a little stamp on my hand or a lollipop or something?
What you get is another case. A bad one, unfortunately.
No love for for Higgs there. Or for Biggs. Well, so yeah, much like in the homicide cases, whenever we have an opportunity to charge more than one suspect, we really don't walk away knowing who was at fault or if our accusation was correct. That's the frustrating thing about this. Well, at least we get 4 stars. 5 stars, valorious. 16 out of 16 clues found. 16 out of 16 questions correct. 635 city damage in dollars. So, well, this is why I don't drive in the game. Anyway, ladies and gents, thanks for joining me for this impromptu stream of L.A. Noire. I've got the footage I need for a lore video, so I'm going to save that and get ready for another week full of content. I need to go put the kids to bed. Thanks for joining me. Lots of wonderful content coming up for you this coming week. We've got, of course, this L.A. Noire episode, then Fallout 3. With the full story of Fallout 3, we're going to be continuing with heading over to Megaton and so on and so forth. Lots of good stuff. So stay tuned for that. Thanks again for joining me this Sunday night. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Enjoy the night, get some good rest, and have a good Monday morning. See you later. Thanks again for coming.